The way I am judging every single person I know on Goodreads that rated this book less than 5 stars, because what the fuck do you mean? I just finished The Handmaid's Tale and I don't even know how to talk about this book. My thoughts are so raw. It was so incredible. I'm processing so much. The ending, without giving it away, the historical notes at the end put this book from being a book of the future to a book of the past in the most baffling way. I can't even describe it. When I talk about how I was reading The Handmaid's Tale this fall, I say that it is the scariest thriller I have read in so long because it doesn't read like a classic. It reads like reality, and that is the most terrifying thought. I also started watching the TV show this week, which is what prompted me to read this book, so I actually kind of read it in tandem with watching the show. Although I do not recommend this technique, I think it really did help me visualize the story, hear the narrative and the prose so much better because I could hear her voice in it from the TV show. I'm on season 2 right now, but honestly, like reading this hand in hand with season 1, was it a little confusing at some parts to remember what is only in the book and what is only in the show? Yes, but for the most part, it was so helpful to just see everything, to hear everything, to just make it feel more immersive. I can't really describe it. I do wonder how much of it would stick with me if I had read the book without watching the show or vice versa. But if you were watching the show and you haven't read this book, what are you doing? Please read the book. Everything is described so much better. I got so much more background. Obviously, like the book is always better. But watching the show with my partner, I was able to tell him things that like weren't explained in the TV show, or perhaps were just like seen on the side, or like something that was very brushed over, but perhaps were like pages in this book. I could tell him more of like, oh, this is why, or they can't do this, or even the wife isn't allowed. Like, insane. I think we should all be terrified. I think we are closer to this story than some of you want to admit. Read banned books. And to those that rated this 3 stars or below on Goodreads, what the heck are you thinking? This is such a masterpiece, and the way that she ended it too, the author, Margaret Atwood, the way that she wrapped up this book at the end and expanded beyond the story itself, I cannot say more without spoiling it, but the ending, I loved it. I think I love anthropology and history, so what she did at the end and turned it into almost like a historical artifact is crazy. Like, I loved that part so much. Of course, there are always so many unanswered questions. So if somebody comments and is like, well, I didn't like that book because we don't know X, Y, and Z, or because there are no quotation marks, but maybe it was intentional, you know? Like, maybe it's intentional that we don't have an exact answer for this certain thing because we're not, like, I can go on a whole thing. I just don't want to spoil anything. That's why I'm kind of interrupting myself. The quotation marks, I honestly didn't even notice that they were missing until a little bit into the story. But by then, like, this is one of those books too where like you have to really be actively reading. This is not a before bed, like quick read. No, like when I'm reading this, sometimes I have to speak the words out loud so that I'm actually actively paying